everyone, welcome to the 8th episode of the PhD Scholar Series of Humans in Education. Our guest for today is Jon from Mexico. Remembering to those beautiful days back, I and Jon were colleagues in the French language class during our PhDs. Jon. Here is his brief introduction. Yuan's PhD is between two countries. He did it from CENIDET, Mexico and CRAN, France. It's difficult for me to pronounce the Mexican names of his lab, that's why I'm just using short form. He was awarded a national scholarship from Mexico to support his study in France. His PhD topic is fault-tolerant methods designed for a fleet of autonomous vehicles against fault or failures based on multi-agent systems. John's first language is not English as he is a Mexican, but he did his best in this talk in English. So now let's listen more about John's research journey, the challenges he observed and his use in his words. Hi Juan, welcome to this session and thank you so much for accepting my invitation and for your valuable time.
Thank you very much for the invitation, Krupali. It's an honor to be here with you.
You are welcome. So let's start now. First, we would like to listen more about you. So would you please share?
Yes, I am Juan Vazquez. I come from Mexico. And I obtained my PhD in aquatutelle with France, and also with France, the University of Lorraine, and Mexico in the CENIDET is the name of the laboratory. Currently, I am doing a postdoc in collaborations with the University of Lorraine and also ArcelorMittal. I'm living currently in France, in Metz. I like to play guitar. I play electric guitar. I also like to write. I love poetry. I love to read books, novels, of science fiction, or many other things, drama, blah, 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 a lot of things. Just to tell you, the last book that I read is about Siddhartha, but it's written by Hermann Hesse, who is German. I like also to do hiking trips. I like also go outside with my friends, take a beer or take something. I love whiskey as well. I prefer whiskey rather than a beer. And what else? I do a lot of sport. Well, not a lot, but also right now, for example, I will finish this interview and I will go running. I like to do running and also to take some weights. Many things. Currently, I don't know more. For example, I love music, then I listen to music a lot.
Okay, and what is your research area?
Yes, currently, as it says, I'm doing a postdoc. Then my PhD was about fault-tolerant control, specific fault-tolerant methods for multi-agent systems with applications in swarms of UAVs. Multi-agent systems you can imagine as multiple dynamic systems that you can control to synchronize or coordinate between each other. Fault-tolerant control is related, for example, to maintain the degraded performance of the control. For example, you have an objective, but something happened, unexpected, a fault we call, and probably you cannot reach that goal, but at least you try to reach as much as possible that goal. Numerically, it's like you have 0 because normally you have an error between the desire and your currently variable that you are measured. And okay, the error try to be 0 or close to 0. And when you have faults, you cannot have this error in 0. You have a percentage. Depends on this percentage is how you determine the performance of your control. In this case, is about that. For example, in dynamic systems, as for example UAVs, you have the motors, the sensor as well, but mostly the motors that allow you to fly the UAV. if one of them is faulty, imagine how is the performance and you cannot control completely. Then our techniques and the theory allows to maintain the flight of this UAV and other things you can reach also. Depends on the approach and many things.
Okay, and how did you land up in this area? What was your motivation?
I started this curiosity when I was in the university. However, it was until a co-worker, because I was working before in an industry, who asked me, "Are you doing what you really want?" And my answer was really no. I said, no, I am not doing what I really want to do in my life. I was like 24, and then I figured out that my work was not satisfying myself. Then I started to find a domain, a laboratory, which I can apply and also which is also satisfies what I really want. And that's how I started this research. I applied for a master, later for a PhD.
Can you please tell us a bit more about your research group and other research groups which are working in the similar research field?
Yes. Okay. The research group, again, as I told you, there are indeed several teams. The most stronger teams are divided into, because also if we started to talk about control automatic, there are a lot of people working on that. But if we focus on some fields like fault-tolerant control, fault diagnosis detection, predicted PHM is the letters, which is predicted health maintenance. Those that I mentioned to you have a strong team and strong group around the world. There are many conferences dedicated only in fault-tolerant control and also in the safe conditions of the machines, of the systems. My team, more locally, they focus mostly in fault-tolerant control.
Okay.
Also in Mexico. I mean, I'm not talking also in between France, but also I'm talking about Mexico, because Mexico also do fault-tolerant control. There are a small team, in this case, this really small. And indeed, just to tell you that everybody in this small group now talking in the world, they know each other. You can read the book of one college or the other college and learn many things from this book. And then you can meet him or her in the conference, and then just you can say, hey, I read your book. Thank you very much, because it was interesting. I learned many things like a student. Imagine that you go and you see the people that you read in the school. Is really amazing. It's happened because it's a small team in this case. It happened that there are too many competition between each other. Why? Because there are huge standards between them. There are many good researchers. And the quality of the works have to increase as well. It's the same. Okay. Then the students have to improve the work that they have done many others before you, because you start something as a new one. You need to learn what is the current work in the domain, and then again it's like a research, but now it's because it's a small team.
Which are the challenges you find as a PhD researcher?
There are many challenges. First challenge is that it's not my mother tongue. English is not my mother tongue. Then I needed to learn how to write correctly. How to write correctly a paper, for example, is not the same talking with someone, sharing many thoughts or like that, and having many mistakes and all that. But when you write, you need to be more formal. In the case also in the scientific domain, you need to be more formal. Then you need to learn to read, first of all, to learn also what is the vocabulary. the nomenclature and many other things, and then to start to write. And you will do a lot of mistakes, and that was my first challenge. Then after that, I learned many control strategies that I didn't know from the school, because you need to learn what is happening currently. Then also another challenge is that you need to change your mind, and you don't need to, you need to change your mind from engineering
Yes.
to engineering thoughts to the scientific aspect. Okay, you can say that, but I obtained the same results. It's not about the results. It's about to justify how to reach, how to justify many other things. Like, okay, you are saying that nobody have done what you are presented. Yes, okay, I understand. But you need to justify it in a scientific way, not like a engineering way. Engineering way could be many other things, like a prototype or approach or methodology, and nobody have done. Yes, okay, but how you justify then is where the scientific part, the researcher, is where is growing up, like changing these thoughts. Is not justifying the prototype, it's justifying the research by the state of the art mostly.
Okay.
That is the most challenge that I had there.
Okay.
I can say that this hierarchy, because first it was the language, later the new strategies, and later that I apply new strategies is like nobody have done before, but okay, I need to justify in a scientific way. That is how my PhD indeed can be summarized.
Why did you choose France for your PhD?
Okay, it's indeed easy to answer this. Why? Because there is a strong relationship between France and Mexico. A strong relationship between them. Politics and administrative, economic, there are strong relationship, and also in the education. And then I was lucky because also in my laboratory in Mexico, there is a strong relationship with the University of Lorraine. And also there is a strong relationship with CRAN, which is the Centre de Recherche en Automatique de Nancy. It's a research where I was working, and it's about control, automatic control. That's why I choose, because there is this relationship since the beginning, then I use it. Okay. There is not more explanation, not why, of the quality, of blah, blah. No, it was because there exists this possibility since the beginning. The University of Lorraine indeed have a lot of collaboration around the world.
Yes. And your PhD was funded, or you were getting some specific scholarship?
I had a Mexican scholarship. My scholarship was 100% covered by Mexican organism.
Okay.
I didn't receive, well, yes, as a PhD student, I received some support from the University of Lorraine, but as a PhD student, but I didn't have a scholarship or salary, because in France, a PhD is a researcher worker.
Yes.
A PhD student is a worker of the research, indeed. In Mexico, is not. In Mexico, is you are a student. You don't pay taxes. In France, you pay taxes, and the amount of the payment that you receive in Mexico compared to France is different. A huge difference. There are many things like in favor and in contrast, but more against. You have many things against.
Okay. What was the name of that scholarship?
Okay, it's in Spanish. Should I say it?
Yes.
Okay, it's Beca Nacional de posgrado.
Okay.
It's a post-degree scholarship.
Okay.
It's the translation, mostly. Okay, each laboratory have, this is a little bit complex. Each laboratory have a qualification in the organism who is called Conacyt. Conacyt have a status in this laboratory. if this laboratory have a good status in Conacyt, then their students inside the laboratory are available to apply for a scholarship for 4 years, because the PhD normally in Mexico is for 4 years.
Okay.
Then you have a scholarship until 4 years. There are other kind of scholarship that Conacyt also give you. For example, an exchangement between the country, different countries. For example, you can go and do your PhD in the US, in Canada, in France, and many, many parts of the world. The only condition is that you need to be accepted. Okay, you need to apply to put, to make document, a report, a project, where you explain your research and your objective and blah, blah, blah. And then, okay, you apply for another kind of scholarship.
Okay.
I don't remember how much it was, but I think it was 1,200 euros.
Okay.
The same is not the same as the French
But
scholarship.
then also you don't have taxes, right?
You don't have taxes. That's right.
Yeah.
No, but I think so. Well, okay, that is an advantage, but no advantage. Why? For example, here in France, because you pay taxes, you have the right to assist for the health security.
Yes.
Also, you have the right of the this insurance that is when you are employee, that is called chômage.
Chômage. Yes.
And what else? I don't remember all but this is the main, the two main aspect that is really, really on favor. In Mexico, you have also the Seguridad social security, and you don't have this insurance when you are employee. After the PhD, you are like looking for a job immediately. Otherwise, you will spend like 6 or 1 year or 2 years looking for a job. Yeah. And imagine not receiving nothing, not having salary is really, really difficult. Indeed, in Mexico, okay, it's cheaper rather than in France or in other countries. But again, you cannot live with your friends, your family, or blah, blah, like that, because no, it's not.
What is your future plan?
My future plan is having a CDI. It's called here in France, which is a contract indefinite.
Okay.
Then in other words, I can say like I would like to have a stable job, because now I am doing a postdoc and my contract is for 2 years. Then after 2 years, where can I go? It's like, if you are living with a contract who is renovated every time, blah, 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 like this, is because you are not stable. And you have also always an uncertainty. I would like to have a stable job, no matter where, just a stable job. That is my next goal as my professional goal. In my personal life, okay, there are other things.
Okay, it's okay. And okay, so your final question. What is your advice to the students who are applying for the international PhD program?
My advice is, there are many. Okay. First, work hard. Work always hard. Always you need to work hard. Discipline. Have discipline. Be constant. It's also related with the discipline, but also you need to be constant. The research is not only inspiration. There are many bad habits or bad things that Hollywood gave us, or the movies, like, the genius is the researcher. No, it's not only the genius. Also, people who are not genius like me, they need to be constant, read a lot, work hard, and they can get a PhD. Is my only advice. Many is indeed also another advice is like, if you are going to do research, It's because it's a love of this, because you will suffer if you don't love. You will suffer no matter what, okay, but you will suffer more if you don't like it.
Yes, I
If
agree.
you love what you really like, is that you are available to spend too many time, more than 24 hours, even if you don't know where you take more hours of the day, but you take more hours and of work, and you work. And indeed, what is work of research is not being in the laboratory always. Like, yes, for some domains, it's been in the laboratory, looking your experiments and like that. For theoretical research, mostly there are many theoretical research like mine. It's not being in the laboratory, it's been reading a lot and also writing a lot, because it's how you do your research, indeed, reading and writing, and also then doing your simulations. That is the consequence later. That is my advice.
Thank you so much for this insightful conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your invitation.
You are welcome.